We've just launched the product just only a few months ago live to market, and have 30 plus customers, have done close to 500,000 in sales. And so thank you very much. Doing great. How are you?
Wonderful. How's your day?
Good. Productive day so far. A lot of customer calls, which was great. And yeah, happy to be here.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you joined. Where are you calling from today?
We're based in Santa Monica in California. Our office is out of here.
Cool. I'm also in California. I'm in San Francisco.
Oh, nice. It's nice up there, right? I heard it's a buddy of mine lives there. He said it's a little cleaner. It feels good. Is that true?
Yeah, right now is a good time of the year, and yeah, really just enjoying the weather. Try to go mountain biking as much as I can. Ski season is over, so yeah, it's really nice.
Awesome. Glad to hear.
Well, okay, great to meet you. Before we dig in, I'll give you a little bit of context. I'm the founder of Imperial Arts, and we partner with mostly B2B SaaS companies to help increase the revenue and profitability by acquiring new clients. And that is why we're interviewing the leaders, such as Cisco and Mercedes-Benz previously, and you to gain deeper insights into the market and providing value back in the form of a podcast here. This
Sure.
usually takes about 30 minutes. Does that sound okay with you?
I have a hard stop at 1. I wrote that in the email, but we can go until then. So I have 25 minutes.
No worries. We'll keep it short and sweet. Um,
Awesome.
so yeah, I understand that Commander AI is in waste management. Could you share some insight into your business and the role you play within it?
Sure. So just to predate a bit, my context is in waste management. I come from that world. I was selling garbage trucks for many years, and I was dealing with commercial waste haulers throughout the country and learned that they all have the same inefficiencies from a sales perspective. They're still using outdated systems like Excel sheets and pen and papers, and really going door to door with their sales team. And so saw an opportunity there to develop not just a functional CRM and prospecting engine, but one that was uniquely designed for the waste management space. And so that's what Commander is. I'm the founder and CEO of the company. And so I wear many hats, but primarily drive sales and product growth.
Wow, yeah. I love that your founder story starts on the ground, like literally driving trucks. Like it's rare to see a tech founder who's lived the customer's pain point firsthand.
Totally.
Okay, so when you look at the next 6 to 12 months in your business, where do you see the biggest opportunities for growth that you're really excited about, and where do you see the biggest gaps that needs to be fixed?
Yeah. So when we look at the broader market as a whole, the sort of small to mid-sized players, the regional players as we call them, have the most opportunity for growth. They're still very outdated. Some larger players are leveraging maybe Salesforce or a HubSpot, but these players have no adoption of technology. And so for the growth of Commander and the company, we've just launched the product just only a few months ago live to market, and have 30 plus customers, have done close to 500,000 in sales. And so the growth is in line with what we're projected to do, but I think that continuous growth will come in our ability to penetrate larger players, where they're looking more for customer management as opposed to prospecting for new business. They have a book of business that they've been running for many years, but the inefficiencies in gathering that data, following up with customers is where they lack.
And what pain points did you feel were completely ignored by the existing solutions? I know you mentioned pen and paper and like it's a very old school business, but what was the turning point for you?
Yeah, I think many other horizontal players, like the ones that I mentioned and some others, do a really good job at selling to a software buyer, right? So somebody who's purchased software for many years, understands technology to some level of extent. With our customer base, they don't, right? So they're not familiar with open source LLMs, they're not familiar with software technology. And so the opportunity with them lies in making a very simple, easy to use tool that anybody can understand, whether you have technological experience or not. And I think that's what we've done best. It's building a tool. I always joke, my sister's 11 years old. If she were to use this tool, she'd figure out how to navigate through it. And that goes across the board. So whether it's with our functionality, the way that we place our buttons on the software, the ease of use, the LLM being behind the scenes, not in front of the scenes, all these little intricacies throughout the platform make it easy for somebody who's driving in trucks all day to log in and understand what's going on.
Yeah, and you talked a little bit about getting a bit of a more market share, and I know, well, the garbage industry doesn't really scream early adopter, but how important is it for you right now to build a more strategic visibility, and is whether that visibility is related to personal branding or company positioning, or just getting your story out there more clearly to ideal partners or clients? Where would you lie in kind of this strategic
Yeah.
visibility story right now?
Yeah, I think the most important thing and probably the most area for improvement or at least growth in our area would be getting the brand story, right? So the fact that I come from this world, that I deeply understand our customers, which really is what sets us apart, right? So brand positioning around, okay, David drove trucks, David worked with the haulers, I was in the world. I understand the pain points. I was at their facilities. I saw the trucks, so that level of sophistication where, somebody from San Francisco with a similar maybe product, with no understanding of the industry might struggle, in a different way. So, being able to really tell that story is what will not only attract our customers, but show them that we truly do understand their pain points and what they're looking for.
Totally. Yeah, that completely makes sense. And your story is super powerful here, and I bet it comes in handy when you do those sales.
Totally.
In your recent experience here, would you say that your business development and client acquisition processes are where you want them to be, or are there still parts that feel slower or heavier than they should?
Yeah, frankly speaking, I think, I mean, they've been better than even I anticipated they would be. Our ICP is the same ICP that I was selling trucks to. And so a lot of our sales motion has been relationship based, which has obviously played to our benefit. And so, I was dealing with their operational person and now I'm dealing with their head of sales. And so the connection's very, very flowing. In our cold approach and outreach, we're leveraging our own tool to generate new business. I think it'd be silly to say that anybody has gotten it figured out entirely. So always open to new ways of doing things, but it's clearly worked for us in the few months we've been to market. But definitely open to other perspectives and new ways of doing it.
Yeah, let's definitely go a little bit deeper into those processes. Like, do you use a lot of cold email marketing, or do you find cold calls and reach out to people? Are they local or are they regional? How does it work today?
Yeah, we joke internally that we probably have the best cold email pitch out there. I think a lot of people say that about their companies, but a lot of our outbound has been cold emails. I think we have, a 15% response rate on cold emails, which is obviously very high. We do cold outbound on phone as well. I think people, unless it's the right person at the right time, you can burn a customer for life by really, pissing somebody off and calling their direct cell phone when they're at home with their kids. So we try to avoid doing that for the most part. And then we go to conferences, which have been great for us. There's what's called the Waste Expo. That'll be in 2 weeks from now, May 5th in Las Vegas. We have a booth there. Essentially, all of our target customers are in a little convention for a couple of days. So it gives us a lot of visibility, a lot of access, in ways that we don't have throughout the year.
That's so exciting. Only in 2 weeks. That must be a big event for you.
Yeah, we're stoked. We've been gearing up for it for the last month or two with design and marketing and all that good stuff.
Sweet. Do you have your own design team? I just heard design, so I got to jump into that.
Yeah, yeah, we do. So we were outsourced for the first 8 months of the company, and then brought our own in-house team after our fundraise. So yes.
Sweet. And do you find that you have any bottlenecks right now in your marketing process? I do understand that your cold email campaigns work really well. Is there something else you've been looking into? Is there somewhere where you kind of want to be for the future? Do you want to increase those numbers? And where are your kind of pain points today?
Yeah, I think from a go-to-market approach, really strong. Our process. I think so I like separating sales and marketing because I think that sales and marketing get sort of merged together, but they're two very different things. So sales is where we're confident, right? And I think that next level for us from a marketing perspective, where we absolutely would look for maybe outside support or guidance, is getting our story in front of the right hands. Maybe from a digital marketing perspective, whether it's news outlets, whether it's speaking on different news channels that are relevant to our target customer, and they'll hear that. That's where we're not. We just haven't done much of that. and definitely excited in pursuing, that type of motion from a marketing perspective.
Yeah, are you using any social media? Do you have a presence today? And is your website converting as well?
Yeah, so many demos are being booked on our website. I think the number is anywhere from 5 to 7 a week now, just from inbound to our website. We have some presence on LinkedIn, some presence on Instagram. Thankfully, it's a very niche market and it's very tight, so you're able to really access all of your target customers and very quickly through those social channels. We're not doing anything on X, and we're not doing anything on Facebook. So those are areas that we're exploring now. Curious if you have insight on that, but that's something that we're open to and looking at as well.
Yeah, that's wonderful insights. I'd be happy to look into that for you and get back to you on that. So if you did have a magic wand that you could just wave to solve one thing, what would that one thing be?
On a marketing front or in general?
Let's say in general. Yeah.
Let's say in general.
Mhm.
I'd say if I had a magic wand, I think that everybody that hears about what we're building will become a customer. I'd say it that confidently. I think that if I could wave a magic wand, it'd be getting our story, our product, and what we built in front of every relevant hand within a span of a day would allow us to, 10x our sales motion. So, and company as a whole. So it's really easy once they see the product, right? But being able to reach throughout not just the U.S. but maybe globally, it would be just excellent, on all fronts.
Yeah, that's a great point. When it comes to building or scaling teams to help drive growth, do you prefer doing most things yourself, or are you more focused on finding the right partners and systems to take things off your plate?
Yeah, I like to handle the areas that I'm strong in myself. I think that you create an unnecessary step when you delegate things that you could inherently do yourself, assuming you have the bandwidth to do so. From areas that I'm not strong in, which I'm very quick to call out myself, definitely rely on support from my team, from other players involved. So whether that's on, product development, whether it's on product design, not an expert in either of those, and so heavily reliant on my team for that currently. Sales pretty strong, and ideation on new ideas pretty strong. Customer relationships, but yeah, product and product design are where I tend to lean more heavily on others.
That's really great. I guess you have an eye for it.
I think so. I think so.
That's great. And what are some of the personal skills that you have that you leverage? I know you mentioned sales and product design. How come you have a focus in that? I'm curious where that came from.
Yeah, it came really naturally. When I was much younger and as a child, I always would sell things. I just had a desire to, whether it was, making cookies for my mom and selling it on the street corner to people driving by, getting a little older, selling shoes. And then, I was into gym for a little bit. So I became a personal trainer and was selling that. So I think it's always just been really natural to me. And as I got into enterprise sales, I did really well too, and noticed I just have a natural tendency for that. And then I think design, I'm just very creative by nature, and it's always writing and music, and that's always been my forte. So taking those two innate skills and then converting it into running a company, being able to connect to people and see them for where they're at is helpful when you're raising money, is helpful when you're acquiring customers, is helpful when you're hiring. And so I've just leaned into those two natural skills to develop sort of a broader skill set on all fronts.
That's wonderful. That's great to hear. Well, one thing we do love about the leaders that we interview is that they're usually really open to new ways of solving old problems. I mean, you're a perfect example of that in your business. How do you personally approach finding new strategies or partner to help drive growth in your business?
Yeah, so thankfully I have a great ecosystem of mentors, of other founders around me. On our advisory board, the founder of Tinder, Sean Rad, is one of my mentors and advisors. Mike Patterson, who I previously worked for, the founder of Battle Motors, doing a few hundred million a year in revenue at this point. So they're my go-to people. They've been mentors from a very young age for me. Any product ideas, any hiring questions, fundraising questions, customer questions, I call them first. And so, from guys that have done it, I think as any younger founder or first time founder, launching a company, find the right people around you and you're set to succeed, right? Don't have it too much ego to where you think you can figure it out yourself, ask the right questions to the right people and you'll get there.
Yeah, mentors are so powerful. Once you have a few in your holster, you're basically unstoppable.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, that was amazing, and I really appreciate your insights. We rarely get people that are so straightforward as you, and I know you have a busy day. I think we got a lot of information out there. Of course, I'll be able to put together some clips for you that you can use online as well. But yeah, before we jump off, um, based a little bit based on what you said, and to say thank you for the interview. I do have some ideas on how you can use new client acquisition techniques that are not currently being used in your market to grow your business and overcome that extra growth that you can have. I would be happy to put together a custom growth plan for you and that your team can use. And of course, an initial call, a discovery call, would be also free of charge. And to make the plan as valuable as possible, would you be open to a quick follow-up call where I can get more details specifically about some of the important metrics that you mentioned?
Yeah, be open to that.
Wonderful. I'd be happy to send out a meeting for next week where I put together an offer and we can talk about it from there. Does that
The
sound good?
next, the next until the expo on May 5th, it's completely jam packed with gearing up for that. The following week of May 5th, so May 12th would be a really good week.
Okay, perfect. After May 5th, is there anyone else in your business you'd like to extend the invitation to that would be involved, another decision maker? I mean, you're the founder, so I guess you have all the power. So I'd be happy
Yeah,
to hear you.
yeah. No other decision makers, but happy to have my one of my sales guys on the call as well. So we can throw them in too for sure.
Okay, wonderful. Well, great. I really look forward to seeing you then, and all the
Likewise.
best to you at the expo.
Thank you very much. Glad we connected. Look forward to seeing it. Thanks so much, Everett.
Awesome. Have a
Talk to you
wonderful
soon.
day. Bye
Thank you. You
bye.
too. Bye.